Hello guys and welcome back. So I want to set up a system that works fine with this Moba style game. That means this has to be sophisticated enough because if we implement everything from scratch, we probably need to do a lot of work just to get it to a usable state, because you have all sorts of different abilities, right? And also they can influence each other. Maybe sometimes they can stack. Sometimes you wanna, do some mute, stun, or whatever, right? So that kind of thing will be difficult without a good system. Okay, so we're gonna try to leverage the GamePlayAbility system in Unreal to do that. That's the system developed when they're developing Paragon, and also it's currently used for the what's the thing? Fortnite. Okay, so it's a best battle tested system, but again, we probably need to change things because again, no amount of generalization can indeed work with all possible future scenarios. That's the problem. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and do it though. So here we need to go back here to our code. Oh, where is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and look for the build.cs file, and here we need to add the system here. So that's called GamePlayAbilities. And gameplay tags, gameplay tasks, quite a few things. I believe that's it. Yeah, I believe that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and then let me go close the editor, and then we can try to compile it right now. Yeah, and that looks like all went through smoothly. Alright, also we need to enable that as a plugin. So just go to here and search for GamePlayAbilities and check that on. And we have to restart the editor one more time. Okay. Alrighty, so GamePlayAbility system is a system designed to create mobile-like games, and has a lot of cool things. It's mainly working around this component called ability system component. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's just use the default one for now. We probably need to subclass it in the future, but let's just go simple. So in the character base, we can add our GamePlayAbility component. So here we need to include ability system component. Actually, that has to be before you have that generated header. And we also have to include ability system interface. A lot of people having trouble having those things recognized for some reason. I really don't know why. It never happened to me. Not even once. I have been doing this with multiple projects. It's never happened to me that you have arrows when you include those for some strange reason. Okay, so yeah, I have that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a setup. So here, you property, okay, and then you ability system component pointer, ability system comp. Okay, and that interface thing we included is going to be something we have to also inherit. So we're going to publicly inherit I ability system interface. Okay, and that is for us to get one of the function overridden, which is this guy. Okay, so let me copy that and put it in here. All right, and that does nothing more than just return the ability system comp. So okay, and that's all there is. So here in the constructor, of course, we need to say ability system comp will be create default subject subobject. Oops, yeah, and that will be U ability system component. And system comp, right? And then that in theory should make the ability system work on a very basic level. Okay, but this is not our primary focus here yet, because last time I was talking about like we'll be creating something to hook up with our UI, right? And the UI is just like that, right? So there's nothing we can do about them yet. I think maybe we can change the value for the edge scrolling to not go that close. So player controller base, I think that should be like maybe 10. Yeah, it's probably gonna work better. Anyway, I'm gonna go create a new class that will hold the values like health, mana, max health, max mana, all kinds of things. Maybe even movement speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new class, and that's gonna be using the GamePlayAbility system's own way of storing values. This is called the attribute set. Okay. Ability system attribute set. Just this one. Okay. So attribute set base for this, and then go ahead and create class. Attribute set is basically a bunch of attributes. When it comes to replication, attribute set has to handle the replication itself. So any value you want it to be replicated from the server to the client, you need to set up your replication yourself. All right, so back here to the demo. Attribute set base, which doesn't have anything yet. Okay, so we need to set up a few attributes. Okay, the attribute will be of the type F ability attribute data or something. F gameplay attribute data. So okay, and that's going to be the data. You can see this is not a float or anything. It's kind of like a special structure. Okay, and you can see it's placed in attribute set to create an attribute that can be accessed using, instead of using the raw float attribute. But you could if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm gonna call this guy house. Okay, and then I wanted to create a few functions that will allow me to, get it and set it and then do kind of things. And that can be done with a macro. If you hold down control and go to the attribute set base class and scroll down, I believe somewhere down the way to the bottom, I'm gonna steal this. To use this in your game, you can define something like this and then add game specific function as necessary. So attribute accessors. So this is going to be creating like a getter, property getter, value setter, and then initializer, right? So a bunch of macros will help you to create functions. That's very common in the game engine design, because there's a bunch of things you need to do again and again and again, right? So I'm going to copy that. This is an example here. Okay, so I'm going to put it into the set base and then just have it in here, I guess. Yeah, and get rid of that. You can hold it down Alt and Shift and hit the downward arrow button. That also works in Visual Studio to change multiple lines. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be it for these guys. So after that, I can just say attribute accessor. And then U attribute set base, and then house, and it's gonna do everything for us to create our I believe maybe that has to be U property or something. Oh, it doesn't know ability system component. I will have to include that, I guess. So include ability system component .h. Yeah, that's happy now. But this is something we have to replicate. So U property, and replicate it using onHouse updated onRep house. Yeah, I think that's it. onRep house, and we probably also need to maybe change. I think it will be more proper. Okay, category equals attribute set. This you can have quotation mark or not, because this doesn't really matter to the Unreal Engine or to C++, at least if you go take a look at the definition of U property, which I cannot go. It's defined as nothing, so I guess that's done by the Unreal header tool. It's gonna go through this and change the code and create a new set of files that will actually be compiled. I believe that's what's going on, but don't take my word for it. I think maybe they have some more magic. But again, you don't have to understand the inner work, right? So I need to then create the replication function here. Okay, and for the replication function, I can actually create a gameplay attribute data as a input. I believe that's a lowercase p. And this is going to be the old value, or old data, I guess is the better name. Okay, this function will be called whenever house is replicated. It doesn't like that for some reason. I believe it has to be U function then. Yeah, it's happy now. What else? Do I want it to be visible too? I probably want. You know what? You can't really do anything about it. This data is kind of like a black box, so I don't know. Do I want to have that or not? Let's just make it visible. Maybe we need to use it. Visible anywhere, blueprint, read only, at least. That will make it not complain, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, basically that's gonna be how we create a attribute with 5 lines. Okay, let me have another copy of that. And this one will be max house. And then that's gonna be also max house. And then on rep max house changed. And that should be it. That should be the max house. I'm gonna do another copy of these guys for the mana. Control D to do that. Whoops. Okay, and this will be mana. This is dangerous though. Copy pasting code will be. Sometimes you forget one thing and then you got stuck on something weird. So you need to be really careful about that. Change all the house to mana. Yeah, so that's house. What's wrong here? Oh, changed. That's house, max house, mana, max mana. It's because those things are replicated. This is not over yet. Okay, so we need to go override that on this function we did in the player controller already, so we need to do that in here too. Need to override this guy. Okay, super get left time props. Okay, and here we need to also do the replication, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and implement these guys. Okay, it's a lot of things. So do rep. I believe here we need to do something. Let me include the networking. Net Unreal Network. Okay. Yeah, that's something we can change later. So do rep. I think it's condition. Do rep left time condition notify. Okay. And here the class will be the U attribute set base, and then the value will be house, and then the condition always condition none. Yeah, so no condition, just always. And rep notify always. Yeah, so this is going to tell it to always replicate it. Okay, I'm going to Control D to copy that and change that to max house. And this is a mana and max mana. So this is to make it update whenever, right, in a constant way, consistent way, so no condition is needed. This condition can be something else, like if you take a look at that, it's condition, you know, owner only to the owner, or skip owner, not let the owner know. So there's a lot of things you can do with Unreal when it comes to networking. It has a robust system, but also because of that, a lot of things have to be tapped in there just to, you know, kind of like do a lot of things to even get it to have the basic inner working. But once you have the foundation set up, it's not too bad. Okay. So in here we can say gameplay attribute notify, rep notify, and then you attribute set base, and then house, and then old data. Do you do that on every one of them? This is going to tell, if you go in there and take a look, tell the ability system, because this is the whole gameplay ability system. The attribute set and the gameplay ability component, they're talking with each other. Okay, and this is basically telling the ability system component that this has changed, right? As in based on this is going to do something internally. Okay. So basically to notify the gameplay ability component or ability system component, which is in this case on our character. Right, this component we added in earlier, right? To tell this component, hey, well, this has changed. Okay, and also I believe it's telling the current active gameplay effect. Right, set base value from replication. So basically it's telling the inner working locally that something has changed with this macro. Play attribute rep notify, right, U ability set base, and then max house old data. Okay, and then here we do another thing, and it's basically the same thing, so I probably need to just copy that. Oh, copying a non-necessary parentheses. So this is gonna be mana, and this is a max mana. Okay, right, that's the basic foundation. This is already 20 minutes. What's the problem here? Constant, I don't think this is necessary here, because it's changing values. I don't know why it's recommending me to make them constant. I highly doubt that. So okay, all right, so yeah, that's gonna be the basic setup. This is already 20 minutes, so we're gonna break this up, right? We're not gonna see any visual yet, but that's the foundation for set up the attribute set base. So in the next one, maybe we can talk about how we can use this, right? Hook this up to our UI so that we can change the value of the health and mana in that UI in those two value monitors. Okay, see you guys next time.